Why is that stuff so expensive?
Not shown here anyway.
Walk blessed.
Yeah? What do you want?
Hey there, Elming. How you doing? So, the quest I'm doing at the moment, I've talked to someone that says that this guy has possibly taken stuff from him. I've looked through his what he has, and it turns out he does have one of Ironford's things, which is a loot. Whether I pay him for information or I buy the loot back, I'm not sure. I have just saved, so if I don't like the outcome, I can load it. It is cheaper to do this one, so I'm an adventurer. I'd wager that you, as a merchant, overhear a lot of useful things.
Let me see. That's not very much, but fine. A couple of moons ago, I had a really strange guy as a customer. He wore 2 sabers, like those coal people do, but when he moved, he was really swift about it, like he was some kind of thief. I think he was an assassin, as they call them. Quiranian contract killers. You can hide within a fortress, but they'll find you. Somehow break into your room and kill you in your sleep. And unlike those everyday scroungers, they know how to wield a sword, like Loram Waterblade did. Who knows? Maybe that'll help you.
Okay. So paying him gets information about different quests and starts other quests, so I'll do that. Interesting. Did you hear any other stories like that?
What? That wasn't enough? Huh. Let me think. Yeah. There was that wench once, a farmer. She came running into the city as if chased by the Black Guardian and told the guards something about an ambush on her farm. Nothing unusual, you could say, especially nowadays, but apparently the bandits were led by a mage. And, well, if you can believe that farmer woman, she conjured the sunfire down from the sky. Green fire, lightning, the living dead rising from the ground, a wild mage. In other words, one of those sinistropes. But she also knew elemental magic like the keepers do. I wouldn't want to come across someone like her.
Okay.
Now, I just put them out for you to look at. Tell me
So
what you need, and be
looks like
quick
I'll
about it.
buy. I can't afford it. Ironford's loot.
been united again. But their leader must be a monster. They say he's crucifying priests and burning down temples. I'm not
That's
surprised
it.
that the gods have turned
And
their backs
why
on
is
them.
it Malphas who carries the Sun Temple on his back?
Walk blessed, my sir. How can Sylvan and friends serve you today? Would you like to open a personal vault? Or perhaps even acquire an estate?
A personal vault?
A ledger. Your very own safe in our house, which we will manage on your behalf. We will meticulously track all your deposits and withdrawals, and best of all, thanks to our very generous interest rates, the longer you entrust your money with us, the more it proliferates on its own.
How can my money proliferate on its own?
Well, evidently this was a metaphor. Just imagine that for every day your money rests in our vaults, we present you with some extra coin on top of it, as in appreciation for your trust, so to speak.
What you're failing to say is you'll lend my money out to other people and want interest, so when they pay it back, you pay me a little bit of the interest that they pay you. What? And you do this at your own expense? How can that be profitable for you?
Well, you see, this is a highly complicated process, and I fear it would be a matter of near impossibility to elucidate my response in such a fashion that you would be capable of comprehending it with your, I beg your pardon, most likely quite limited intellectual capabilities. Let us talk about more enjoyable matters instead, such as your money.
Look, if you want my money, you tell me what you do with it.
Fine then. We use it to trade.
There we go. You trade with the coin of your customers.
We invest. For example, in promising expeditions or new trade routes. And from the returns those investments yield, we not only pay our employees, but your interest as well. Now, don't you look at me that way. We have to make a living somehow, too.
And what happens to my money if your investments turn out to be mistakes?
Banks do not make mistakes. Didn't your parents teach you this? Now enough of this nonsense and back to business. Do you want to open a gold shelf or not?
Okay, sure.
Very well. We will need a 100-penny deposit to start with. After that, you may make a withdrawal or deposit whenever you would like.
Fine, here's the money.
Excellent. You will not regret this. Here, this is your personal safekeeping. This way, you may access your shelf even when we are closed. To make a deposit, simply talk to one of the bankers or put it on the shelf yourself. And should you acquire any shareholdings, simply give them to me and we will allocate them with your future interest.
Shareholdings? What do they mean? What do you mean?
Well, holdings for something, a business, a caravan, things like that. But forgive me for saying so, you do not seem to be a man of means, so I don't suppose it will be relevant to you.
Don't say what's relevant to me and not.
Walk blessed! And don't forget, your money is safe with Sylvan and friends. Exceedingly safe, believe me.
We'll see how much money it makes.
Hungry? I've got just
Come
what
to
a
your
weary
Rinto
traveler
shop.
needs.
Rena Shalom, my sir. Are you looking for fresh fish?
You're not Enderalian, are you?
Kirash, what gave me away? My skin or my accent?
Accent. Both, I guess.
Well, I'll have to work on my disguise then. Jokes aside, I am from Kyra, but I was only 6 years old when my commune came to this country, and I'll have seen my 60th winter next month, so I suppose that makes me as Enderalian as most people around here.
Bread fresh from the oven.
Fair enough.
Treat yourself.
Why did you leave Quira?
Oh, there were many reasons. Suffice it to say that Kyra isn't the glittering, exotic country of dreams and poems that bards make it out to be. I am glad to live here. You can say what you will about Enderal, but at least it's peaceful.
Fruits right from the farmer's coast and Duneville.
I really need that new herbal essence for my hair. Have you heard the news about the Magister? Hello. Word has it that he murdered 30 novices, then killed himself.
Yeah,
up
everyone's
temple.
telling me that.
By Malthus, what has become of this world?
Who are you? Hey, you're an adventurer, aren't you? Have you been
due to its sheer glory, brought
How do
forth
they
by
say it?
Malthus himself. Telor Ardenfiel has returned. Yes, you have heard right. The lost heir to the throne, son of Lorius, has, after decades of imprisonment by his treacherous son, returned to his position as Grand Master
Hungry
of
for
the
our
Holy Order.
I have
The
books.
esteemed
Yeah?
treasure
What do you want?
Pretty much talked to
thereby
everyone.
returns to her position
Outside.
as second in command, and no one else but
Let's check these few last doors.
Hammers, daggers, swords. Looking for steel? I can provide. Come again.
Nothing there. Just a weapons dealer.
Make
Yes. Safe travels, my sir. How may I be of service?
Huh?
Acts like a sublime. Some people just don't know their place.
What are these doing on the ground?
Oh, hello there. Are you looking for garments? I have the finest cloth from Kilay to Enderal. Come and look for... Walk blessed. All your heart could ever desire. Take a look.
Ooh. Am I wearing that, I think?
May his light guide you. Come back if you find the time.
The area I haven't been to yet.
must have been, due to its sheer glory, brought forth by Malthus.
go finish off this quest and see what we can get from it. Any chance this has to do with your anger?
That? By Malthus, where did you get that? You didn't buy it from that cutthroat, did you?
Unfortunately.
Please, let me see it. I need to know it's real.
Only if you tell me what all this is about in return.
Aye, of course. By the name of the sun, yes, that's hers. And Vera was right. I don't know why you're doing this, but thank you. This really means a lot.
You're welcome. Who is Bella? Your companion?
What? No, Bella, she was my daughter. She left us one moon's turn and a day ago now.
I am sorry to hear that. What happened to her?
Flesh maggots. She... A week before we found out, she had met this young man, you know? Oh, you should have seen her. There was so much life in her, so much joy. And then, all of a sudden... It just isn't fair.
My condolences. For what it's worth, I've lost a good friend as well. Not too long ago.
You did? I'm sorry to hear that. She was a poet, you know? She could play the lute and sing like no other. And she even taught herself how to write. Vera, my companion, and I, we thought she would one day travel through the lands and become a bard. What am I saying? I'm sure you have better things to do than listen to me grieving. But in case you want to know how her lute ended up in that bastard's hands, we had debts. And only 3 weeks after Bella left us, a Duneville caravan that carried a year's load of iron for us got robbed. But of course, neither that nor our loss made any difference to that cutthroat golfer, and he threatened to get me thrown into jail if I wouldn't pay by the first day of Star Summer Night. Well, I suppose you can connect the dots for yourself. The loot was precious, and we didn't have a choice. But still, it felt like selling a part of her. And until now, we had nothing left of her, save for the casket.
What casket? You can keep the loot if you want to. It's a present.
Yes? That's very generous of you, really. Thank you.
What casket?
Her treasure chest, that's what she called it. She kept her songs and poems in there, and she would never show anything to anyone unless she considered it perfect. You know how poets are. And now she's gone, and only she knows how to open the casket.
But you're a locksmith, aren't you? You should know how to get it open too.
Aye, I should. But the casket was a present I made for her myself, and I made the lock special. It's a complicated mechanism, but simply put, there are 4 bolts that need to be pushed in a certain order, and only then will it open. Of course, I could smash it, but who knows what would happen to her things. If I somehow destroyed them, I would never forgive myself.
I see. And that inscription, that carving on the back of the loot, that has something to do with how to open the casket, right?
Yes, left, right, left, down. But that's not all. The bolts have to be pushed 12 times.
So we're missing 8 hints. Do you know if your daughter left more clues about them somewhere else?
Aye, I'm quite sure she did. Vera and I have ideas as to where, but at the moment I can't afford to spend a single day without work. Look, you were very generous to me. I know it's a lot to ask for, but do you think you could help us find the other hints?
I do want to get something for it, because I don't have that much money and it would take a lot to level up. But I don't want to be rude either. Alright, I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. I'm not asking this lightly, but you seem like a good fellow, and that is rare these days. Bella loved this book of poetry, the Red Ballads, and there was one particular edition she always rented from the Ark Library. I hardly have any coin left to borrow it, but I'm almost sure she left a hint there.
I see. What about the last one?
Hi, there was a place Bella always visited when she had spare time. She worked on her poems there, I think. It's not far from the harbor. Do you have a map? There. If she left another clue, it must have been there. Thank you. I mean it. I will pray for you.
Back to the marketplace.
Greetings.
So they're in the south quarter.
Hear my words, O path-abiding people of this holy city.
If it's clan and fish you seek,
Vegetables.
South quarter.
Fresh from the oven. Treat yourself.
Honor this heritage, who adorn themselves
My sir.
disciples of the Sith.
And nobles quarter. I'll go to the nobles quarter. I'm there anyway. I don't want to spend this whole stream in this town.
A penny, my sir? Please, just one penny?
Okay.
Thank you. That's really generous. May his light guide you.
Greetings.
Actually, that looked like I had something new here. Is there any news?
I don't need to tell you about that mad magister, do I? The whole city talks about nothing else. And honestly, if even a keeper of the Holy Order can fall victim to this red madness, or whatever they call it now, then Malphus have mercy on us.
Monsieur?
Okay. So that must be to buy that house. Yep.
Yes? What are you doing here?
Just looking around. Trying to pick up quests.
Walk blessed.
Yes?
Excuse me, I'm new in this area. Do you happen to have any tips?
That's just how they are.
Well, I might, but don't think I'm telling you anything. I know what you bronze-skinned people are like. Always out for more money. Now do me a favor and shove off.
How rude. Are you always this friendly?
Of course. especially to people of your kind. Now excuse me, I have to go.
How rude, racist much.
Hello? Is it important? Hello?
So much to do, so little time.
Walk blessed.
Nope. Nothing in there to talk about. One rude person, the other's just ignoring.
Now, come on, just a little to the left and...
Whoa.
Blasted blazes! You are really, really starting to annoy me, you know that? Oh, now look at that. A visitor. Great. Just great. What do you want? Are you here because of the placard?
I am. Looking for help? With that machine?
What? By the 7? No! Don't take it personal, but you really don't look as if you know much about Starling craft. What I am looking for is an adventurer. Someone willing to take over a very important task for Horst and me.
Horst?
Yes, Horst. And no, he is not my imaginary friend, but this gorgeous example of Enderalian metallurgy and Starling ingeniousness right beside me. My personal centurion, and soon my new body.
Your new body? I'm afraid I don't follow. This machine, this, Horst, this is your new body?
Yes, steel instead of flesh, energy instead of blood. Away with this useless shell and its pathetic fugacity. In Horst's body, I will live on forever.
So you want to, what? Become that machine?
Ah, you wouldn't understand this even if you'd been my apprentice for 15 years. If it helps you, just imagine that I transfer my consciousness, my soul, into Horst's body. And by doing this, I become him. Apotheosis, that's what the scholars from Kyra call it. Man's ascent to something higher. A deity, you could say.